Today we're talking about how we can download an athletic skill today, how we can become superhero oriented to some degree. And so for me, we're going to talk about calisthenics today. It's a new journey I'm starting up. In my fitness and athletic career in general, I was never particularly interested in calisthenics, but I'm really motivated by the power that they have. And so when I was growing up training for sports like basketball and football, they demanded plenty of weight training and a little bit of calisthenics, right? But as I transitioned into the military, like it was more calisthenics too, but nothing like extremely crazy. Like we were doing pull-ups, push-ups, running, squats, and stuff like that. But I continually just focused on weightlifting patterns that I developed from sports and the military too. But as the last 15 months, I started doing CrossFit, and CrossFit requires you to be extremely talented at calisthenics because you got to do muscle ups and walk on your hands and do handstand push-ups and stuff like that, along with the weightlifting and all the other cardio things. And so many are confused by the purpose of doing CrossFit training versus traditional weightlifting, bodybuilding type routines. And so I'll make a video on that as well because CrossFit is actually a very impressive sport to be a part of, and it's very challenging. And I used to be a hater beforehand too. So once you get into it, you realize it's kind of the truth. But for today, we're going to talk about the practicality, potential, and the mechanisms of adopting advanced calisthenics and how I'm going to do it and how you can use my approach into developing a new skill for yourself. And if you haven't seen any of my videos before, I'm a personal trainer who coaches those with addictive behaviors. So I help people that were alcoholics, nicotine addicts, lose a crazy amount of weight, get super strong, and quit those bad behaviors. So I found that becoming addicted to healthy habits is the first step towards breaking abusive negative habits like drinking or porn addiction or nicotine. Okay, so this is why the point of downloading an athletic skill is very important for any of us. So the context of this article about calisthenics comes with the intention to potentially inspire the viewers of this video, the listeners, to choose an athletic skill to learn. Like for me, we're going to talk about calisthenics and to become addicted to it, because what this can show you, right? Let's say you become addicted now to Olympic weightlifting, or maybe it's swimming, or maybe it's golf or tennis or great dancing. One of those things, becoming addicted to a positive habit like that's really healthy and good for your body is going to help you get rid of those negative habits like drinking and watching porn and stuff all the time. So I'm choosing to specialize in calisthenics now because I find this skill to be particularly useful in my CrossFit career. And selfishly, I think it's going to make my physique look pretty crazy too. It's and the moves are fantastic. They're good party tricks and stuff like that. So I'm pumped to get really good at calisthenics. Okay, and so to understand the benefits of calisthenics, we have to talk about the benefits of resistance training first, because calisthenics, weightlifting, they're all resistance training. So many people underestimate the practicality and the benefits that come from calisthenics because they think it's just body weight movements, so you're limited on what you can train. And as far as measuring strength and your muscle hypertrophy, it's a little bit different compared to using weights, because you can always be okay, last week I used the 25 pounders, now I'm going to use the 30s this week, so I'm getting stronger, right? So it's a little bit different to judge it, to characterize what's happening with your journey in calisthenics. So it's much more common to see the value in weight training because varying the loads lifted during training is easier to judge and can elicit favorable muscle adaptations, more or less, maybe faster, who knows. It just depends on the person and how hard you're going with the program, right? But with calisthenics, you're still manipulating the load as well. That's a misconception about calisthenics that people don't understand, is that when you are doing, for instance, a pull-up and then you're going into a front lever pull-up, for example, you are increasing the lever length, which is now increasing the load on your lats and your back muscles and your biceps when you're doing the width. So you're actually making it way harder and you're challenging your growth to another degree. So that's why calisthenics is really important, because you're just changing lever length and making things harder through that way. All right, I think my eyes are a little bit better now. But so the big thing with the main takeaways with resistance training is that all the research supports that when you are weight training, you're going to observe metabolism improvements, visceral fat decreases, muscle strength and size is going to increase. All those things are totally going to increase your mental health, make you feel happier, make you feel better about your self-esteem. And additionally, resistance training increases proprioception and coordination, which are two crucial skills that we need to have as we get older, as we're walking upstairs or we're trying to walk on the ice or something so we don't fall. These skills make us likely to fall and commit painful accidents if we're not competent at them. And so most importantly, resistance training is also going to decrease the onset of other disorders like type 2 diabetes actually, and hypertension. So lifting weights, calisthenics. So let's kind of get into calisthenics a little bit deeper though. Like, why is it so special? What's like the secret about it, right? So beginner to intermediate level calisthenics is fairly simple, as you'll be performing basic things like air squats, push-ups, pull-ups once you feel comfortable with it, planks, you know, stuff like that, rows, inverted rows. But things get dramatically more intense and impressive as you transition to more advanced moves like the muscle up or the handstand push-up, and then the front lever like I was mentioning earlier, where it's basically you're doing like a pull-up, your legs are completely parallel with the floor. So what makes calisthenics special is that they're extremely taxing compound movements. You're using so many muscle groups at any given time. So many muscle groups, way more so than weightlifting. So for instance, and this is what happens in Olympic weightlifting too, and some degree in strength training, but Olympic weightlifting and calisthenics recruit so many muscle fibers at one time. So if you take a freestanding handstand push-up, for instance, where you would be balancing in a handstand on the ground, you would have to not only have the shoulder and tricep strength to push your body up and down from the floor, up your whole body weight up and down from the floor, you also need to have a strong core and glutes and quads and everything like that to hold your hips tight in the air so you don't fall and tip over. So you have to have so much control, and then everything has to be stabilizing and then be powerful and strong at the same time. So wow, what a compound taxing exercise. We're gonna get so many muscles activated in something like the freestanding handstand push-up. And that activation of those surrounding muscles to keep your body balanced and controlled is referred to as proprioception and coordination. So doing calisthenics at a high level as you get older is gonna make you live a very long time, because you're gonna have so much higher aptitudes of proprioception and coordination. So if you're wondering what the secret is about calisthenics, this is it right here. The fact that calisthenics requires the recruitment of so many different muscle fibers and promotes an advanced level of mind to muscle connection, because that's what it is. It's just you're firing your neurons a lot better to the mind to muscle connection. That's the reason why people can get so damn strong and they can lose a lot of fat, and that's why it's so important for even the general population to consider and think about developing their skills with calisthenics. And obviously resistance training as a whole, because it's just going to make you live a long time. So especially the common exercise like the push-ups, the pull-ups, and the pistol squats. If you can do pistol squats, you're going to be able to live a very long time. So for those looking to become advanced at calisthenics, it is highly attractive as well, because you can get absolutely shredded and you become insanely strong and have an array of party tricks too. So those last parts is what I'm going for. Okay, so let's talk about my goals. So as of now, November 2022, I'm pretty great at pull-ups, dips, handstand push-ups against the wall. I can't do freestanding ones yet. And pistol squats are pretty easy for me too. I'm great at those. So muscle-ups as well. I can hit muscle-ups pretty good, but on the bar and the ring, but I have to swing a little bit. I can do one or two strict ones on the bar and the rings, but it's really hard. I have to do like perfect effort. So that's where I'm at right now. I can do like one muscle up strict. Basically, I can do, if I'm swinging, I can do like 10. But the skills that I just mentioned, that's what I can do right now. But what I'm looking for, my goals right now, are right here. So by next year, 2023, November, I want to be able to do 10 strict ring muscle ups, 10 front lever pull-ups, okay, where my body's like parallel with the floor, 10 single arm pull-ups like that, okay, a static back lever, 30-second planche, and 10 parallel handstand push-ups, okay, not against the wall, like free in the air. That's where my goals are for the next year. Yeah, so these skills are going to take a lot of time to develop, but I'll be documenting my progress along the way to show you what it's like to commit to a skill for a year and see how far you can get. So with my current skill set, I should likely be able to develop the 10 strict ring muscle ups, I think in like 6 months or less, maybe less. But the back lever, the front lever pull-ups, and the planche could likely take me possibly over a year. But I think I got a good chance to get it down because my body's in a good position already. I'm totally up for the challenge too, and I can't wait to progress one day at a time. And now listen next to see how you can do this. So this is what I'm going to do, and this is how you should approach learning a new physical skill. So the first thing I'm doing is look at this, I'm making a video about it. I'm creating a social contract. I'm telling others what I'm doing. This is what I did last year when I started swimming, actually. So about a year ago, I could barely swim the freestyle for longer than like 50 or 100 meters without like dying, like just like completely exhausted. So then I made a goal. I wanted to be able to swim 500 meters in under 10 minutes. And when I first did it, I think it took me like 13 and a half minutes, maybe like 14 or 15. Like I was like really slow. And then I went from 1 month to the next where I got to like 12 and a half minutes, then it was like 11 and a half minutes, then it was like 10 and a half minutes. I just kept going. And finally by May, which is 7 months later, from November to May of this last year, so about 7 months, I beat that time. I got 9 minutes, like 50 seconds. And I just kept putting it on Facebook or Instagram, Snapchat, and telling my friends that I'm trying to get better at swimming, and it worked. Because I had friends that were like, yeah, dude, just keep doing this. You got to work on your stroke like this. They gave me advice. And the more dedication I got, the more comfortable I got and encouragement, I just got better. And obviously there's more to it too. I was very consistent, but I didn't lose motivation because I had a social contract. Because I understood the process would take some time. And by being vulnerable with my friends about it, they would encourage me and help me reach that goal. And now I feel very comfortable. I can swim like 1,000 meters pretty comfortably. So that's how you start a new physical skill. Tell your best friends and family what you are working on. Ask your romantic partners or significant others. Hold you accountable to your goals. And then you gotta share your progress on the internet, social media, just way easier. So it may seem excessive, but it actually works, okay? So that's the first step. The second step is you have to become obsessed with the learning process. So I'm gonna talk about Olympic weightlifting here too, because I have to do that in CrossFit, stuff like that, like the snatch and the clean and jerk. And they're two moves that are super hard to learn and they take a lot of time. And so to get good at these skills, especially at a lot of skills like that you're gonna be undertaking, you need to learn a lot about them. You need to watch videos on the internet, you need to read articles about it. And so that's what I did with Olympic weightlifting. And I did it with swimming too, but with weightlifting I would watch YouTube videos all the time on like how to do the form correctly and watch like the experts explain stuff. And so that's how you become obsessed with it, because then you're just learning the ins and outs and every single intricacy about the skill. So that way you have no questions about how to do it correctly. Because if we continue to be like, no, I think I need to put my arm a little bit further back versus a little bit further forward, if you're just guessing, you're never going to like progress as fast as you could if you just watched a YouTube video or you just read an article and just knew exactly how to do it from the start. So that's what I did when I started with Olympic weightlifting. I just watched videos like every day for probably like 2 months straight. Like it was a while. And then I had like in my house, I would just practice like the motions with like a broomstick pretty frequently too. So obsession towards a new skill will give your brain the processing power and allocation to cement the new connections in your brain to like hardwire these connections of these habits in your body. So it's always neuromuscular. We have to like just make it muscle memory. So by becoming obsessed, you're also going to teach your body how to memorize the movements, patterns a lot faster. So that way you can just do things subconsciously. So you don't have to think about it as much as you did when you first started. And that's just going to make your progress move so much faster, so much faster. So watch YouTube videos, read internet forums on how to get better, and journal about your progress. You have to understand what's going on subjectively within you, what you're feeling, and objectively. And then the last part is just consistency. So it doesn't matter how obsessed you are. It doesn't matter if you got a social contract. You just have to be consistent. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day, because you just got to keep going. You just got to keep going to the gym. So for this, I would say 4 days a week. That's what I'm planning on doing for my calisthenics thing. This week I've already done it twice. I'm on a beach right now. I'm on an island, so it's a little bit harder for me to get the things I need to do because I'm going swimming and stuff like that right now. But 4 times a week is what you need, and so I'll be able to fit that. I'll be able to fit in my training because I know what it takes for 4 times a week. I know like the volume I need in that amount of time. But that's what you got to do. You got to create like a routine or a non-negotiable like schedule for your week regarding your new skill acquisition. So really write down what you want to do in your program and make sure you get it done by the end of the week. So 4 days a week is helpful because then you have different days to make sure you're focused. If you just do it 1 day a week, like you're gonna forget about it like the other 90% of the week. So you gotta be spreading it out throughout the week, 4 days. It's a good starting point because it's more than half of the week as well that you'll have dedicated toward your new skill, which will accelerate progress, instill the obsession, and associate identity with that behavior. For me, I'm already working out 5-6 days a week, and I focus on calisthenics probably a good like 2 to 3 days to begin with. already. At least we'll say 2. So now I'm gonna like double my calisthenics training, and I'm gonna focus on doing it 4 days a week, or like 4 days a week worth of volume. So what this looks like for me is creating a program and list of the exercises that I need to do before I enter my training location of that week. And I switch between digital and paper tracking frequently right now, but I'm doing a lot of stuff digitally now, so I'm going to continue with that. I use like Apple Notes, or I use my Google Notes, or I use Google Docs, and so I'll be tracking all of that stuff digitally. That's what I recommend. You need to do that, and also I'll be video recording what I'm doing as well, so I can gauge progress and move as time moves on. So if you want to join my journey, follow me on Instagram at Ethan Etchart. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, Ethan Etchart Fitness. You're going to be impressed by the results I'm going to make next year, because I know how to make this happen. And so if you want to make it happen with me, you can also join my new Facebook group, Electrify Your Life. We talk about how to adopt a healthy lifestyle if you're coming from addictive behaviors, or if you just want to get fit. And so for instance, like this, like a skill where I'm going to download a skill like calisthenics in a year, you can join my group and we talk about your progress along the way. Okay, it's also an Instagram group as well. So if you message, comment, or go to my Instagram profile, all that stuff is available. You just can DM me, or you can find the links below in this YouTube video. And also, thank you for watching this video. Remember, I'm Ethan Etchart. I'm a personal trainer who helps people abandon their addictions. This video is about three steps to download a new athletic skill. This is going to help you get rid of your addictive behaviors and achieve your dream goals, your dream bodies, all those things, your mental health that you've been looking for. So thanks. Check out this videos, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.